When God tells you to do something, you only have two options. You either obey him or not. Hello, lemons. Let's make a lemonade. Okay, let's rewind a bit. There was this guy, his name was Saul, and he became a king. Then God asked him to do something. He asked him to destroy the Amalekite people, as well as their ox and sheep and camels and donkeys, pretty much all of the animals. So King Saul went there, but he spared Agag, the Amalekite king, as well as the best ox and sheep and donkeys and camels, pretty much all of the best animals they had. Then God spoke to Samuel the prophet, and he said, I regret that I have made Saul king, for he has turned back from following me and has not carried out my commands. Pause there, Gabs. Okay, obviously, King Saul was wrong because God asked him to do something to destroy all of it and he didn't. So it's kind of obvious, isn't it? It seems so simple, doesn't it? But King Saul really thought he did a good thing. And why was that? Because of his plans. He wanted to sacrifice all of these good things in the name of God. He was not going to keep them to himself. No, he was going to sacrifice to God all of the best of it. So it didn't really matter to him that he didn't listen to all of what God told him to do. I mean, isn't it the same with us? How many times do you think or even say, I follow God, I follow Jesus Christ, I do not kill, I do not rob, I do good things to people, I even go to church every Sunday. But then later on, you go on and do something that displeases God. If he tells you go and you stay, if he tells you to stop and you continue, if he tells you, I don't like this son, I don't like this daughter, but then you go ahead and do it anyways because he's a loving God who will forgive you later. Okay, so let's come back to the scripture, shall we? God clearly asked Saul to destroy everything, but he spared some of the things. When you spare something that God tells you to destroy, you're just opening the door for the evil to come in. You're inviting the evil. Hey, devil, come on in and have a meal at my own house. If God tells you to destroy something and then you just choose to spare instead, you're not allowing God to take full control over your life. You know what you're telling God? You're telling God, hey, I know what's best for me. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm better than you. If you know that something displeases God, if you know you're going against His word, why do you do it anyways? The real problem is for us to think that just because we're doing something in God's name, or just because we're acting like we know what God would prefer, then He needs to accept our sacrifice. He needs to be included in our plans and not the other way around. It doesn't really matter what He thinks I should do. It doesn't really matter what He thinks is best for me. I decide because it's my life and I know what's better. Well, God created you. He loves you and He knows what's best for you. He knows some things that you don't even know. You couldn't possibly know. And you know what? He tells us exactly what He wants us to do. And if you're close friends with Him, you're gonna know what He wants you to do even before He speaks to you because of this right here. But it's up to us to follow Him. In other words, to obey Him. Or just to live the life that we want to obey God. It means to surrender, to give Him everything, not partially something, not just a little bit of something, or just, I don't want to give Him something that hurts me too much. But if there's another part of you that is like, you know what, God, this is just a teeny tiny piece of my life that is just hurting a little bit, so I'm not gonna give you the power because I know until when I can go until it hurts too much. Well, let me tell you something. You're partially obedient to God. And partial obedience is the same as disobedience. Again, partial obedience is the same as disobedience. There's no such thing as partially obedient. Obedience is not about negotiation nor bargaining with God. You either give Him everything or you don't. Don't let, oh, I'm waiting until I'm ready, be a subtle disguise for disobedience. Oh, Gabby, but it cannot just be one way or another. Let me tell you something. Matthew 6:24 says, No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or he will be devoted to one and despise the other. You cannot serve two gods. So, if you are displeasing God, then who are you serving?